Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a two-part video. First and foremost, we're going to look at a couple of just awesome and super generous gifts that I received from my good buddy Dylan over at Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, one of the best channels on YouTube, hands down. And then we're going to look in the second part of the video at a couple of recent pickups that are linked to one of the cards that Dylan sent, and that are also cards that I think Dylan would appreciate, knowing his eye for cardboard and the way that he collects. So I don't think I need to do a big intro on Dylan. If you're here watching this, I'm relatively confident that you're aware of Dylan and his channel. In the event that you're not, please check the link below. Go give him a subscription. He has just been a blessing here for all of us on YouTube. His positive outlook, his excitement and genuine enthusiasm for the hobby is like unmatched to me. He reminds me when I'm watching his videos of, the excitement level that I had as a little kid when I would open up packs of cards or add to my collection. He's in the hobby for all the right reasons. He's a wealth of knowledge. And even though he has an amazing collection, one of my favorites on YouTube, it doesn't go to his head in any way. He just appreciates this hobby, and he's one of the kindest souls that you're going to meet here in the YouTube card community. So I am very, very honored to call Dylan a friend. We all have those channels that we enjoy or seem to kind of have an affinity towards. And Dylan is definitely somebody in the hobby that I feel a real kinship with. I think we have a very similar hobby approach and a very similar hobby appreciation. And so as we've gotten to know each other a little bit better over the last couple of years, we on occasion send each other cardboard, of course. And Dylan sent me two amazing cards recently, one modern and one vintage, which is so fitting. And we're going to start with the modern card. Check this one out. Dylan knows that Mookie Betts is my favorite active player to collect. I do buy cards of guys like Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, which I know Dylan does as well. But if I had to pick just one active player that I enjoy collecting the most, this is the guy, Mookie Betts. I've loved him ever since he came up with my Boston Red Sox here in New England, quite a ways back now, about a decade ago, which feels crazy to say. And I still enjoy watching him and collecting him with the Dodgers now out on the West Coast. And I'm very excited for the season that lays ahead here, starting very soon, because he will be teammates with Shohei Ohtani. And so I think it's really, really cool that Ohtani played with Mike Trout, and now he's going to play with the other best player of this generation, in my estimation, Mookie Betts. And so Dylan sent me this amazing 2023 Bowman Chrome Mega Box Blue, numbered to 150. And Dylan knows how much I'm a fan of team color matching cards. And so if you're going to get a Mookie Betts Dodgers era card, going blue is about the best you can possibly do. I love blue Mookie Betts Dodgers cards. The pattern on this is awesome. This is known in the world of hockey as like Trax pattern, but it's just fantastic. Like, look at the shine on this. Absolutely love it. Great image of Mookie rounding the bases, and just like Dylan, Mookie is a Class A human being. He's just a good guy, and he's easy to root for. In an era where a lot of these athletes, or some of these athletes, have kind of egos or big personalities, Mookie is just a down-to-earth, just stellar human being, and really honored to have this one in the collection. I have so much Betts that I've actually been considering doing like a Mookie Betts countdown video, or maybe a series of videos, and maybe this one will make the list if I get around to doing that. Certainly be in the running, and I really, really appreciate you thinking of me, Dylan, and as a home for this. I know Dylan doesn't go deep on Mookie Betts because we all need to focus to some extent, so I'm guessing that he picked this out specifically to send to me, which is something I've done for cards in his collection as well, and it's just, so touching, and the latest example of many that I have over the course of being on YouTube, of the amazing generosity that exists in this community. So let's put this Mookie up. Some nice shine there. And then the other card that Dylan sent is a vintage card. And this one probably means even more to me than the Mookie. I love them both, but for a couple of reasons. Number one, vintage is Dylan's wheelhouse. And I know he's gotten into modern in recent years, and I've maybe been partially responsible for motivating him on that track. But at the end of the day, vintage cards are what Dylan loves most, and they're what he collects most. and he sent me a vintage card from his own personal collection that is just beyond meaningful. And let's just take a look at it before I gab on too long here. Check this out. The 1951 Topps Redback Monte Irvin. This is considered a rookie card. His first two issues, as far as major card releases, are the 51 Bowman and this 51 Topps Redback. So I had the Bowman previously. This card actually made my list, my top 100 countdown that I did recently. And it blew my mind that Dylan would bestow upon me one of his copies of the Topps Monte Irvin rookie card. Like, how amazing is that? I love this set. I don't really have many cards from this release. I had a couple of like middle tier or lower tier Hall of Famers that I had sold off maybe a year or two ago, but I've never owned this Monte Irvin. And this is one that was high on my list because if you've been by the channel with any frequency, you know, one of my two collecting focuses this year is to collect Negro League players and bridge players, meaning players who played, you know, in the Negro Leagues and then transitioned over to Major League Baseball. And Monte Irvin was one of the best when it comes to that bridge player class. He was one of only 11 guys to make the jump from the Negro Leagues to Major League Baseball in the 1940s. So Jackie Robinson, of course, opened the floodgates in 1947 in the National League, and Larry Doby in the American League in turn. And then over the course of the next 3 years, 1947 through 1949, a total of 11 players made the jump, and Monte Irvin was one of them. And yeah, I mean, I'm just blown away by the generosity. This is more meaningful to me than if I had gone out and bought my own copy of this in a PSA 10, just because it came from somebody who I respect so much in the hobby and I consider such a close friend. And, you know, this card is even included in Dylan's mat, his break mat that he has in the background of his videos. So he thinks or thought enough of this card to include it, you know, in his kind of display that you see so often on his channel. Yet he was kind enough to send it to me. And that's just, you know, an example of what kind of a guy Dylan is. Aside from having a great collection, you wouldn't know it. He doesn't let it go to his head. He's just endlessly optimistic and positive. And it's, those are some of the many reasons why he is one of my favorite personalities in this hobby. Certainly he knows he doesn't need to send me cards for me to feel that way about him, but he's just that kind of guy. And I've sent plenty of cardboard his way as well because it all just goes around. I love paying it forward. And yeah, it was just beyond touching to receive that. So now, thanks to Dylan, I have both of the Monte Irvin rookie cards and just a super special card that I will always cherish. I would never in a million years upgrade or get rid of that 51 Topps. So thank you so much, Dylan. And now, as I outlined at the beginning of the video, just to extend it a little bit here, I have two recent pickups that kind of fit that bridge player guideline or bridge player classification that I talked about with Monte Irvin. And they're also the types of cards that I know Dylan would appreciate, meaning low to mid-grade vintage that is well-centered and has amazing eye appeal. And so to go along with those Monte Irvins in the background, we're going to look at a couple of Larry Doby cards. So let's start with one from 1954. Look at this copy of his 54 Bowman. This is a stunner of a 4. This is a card that I've always wanted. I've kept my eye out for at least a few months now, probably longer, and have certainly amplified my search here in 2024 now that I'm focusing on these bridge players. And when this one popped as a buy it now, just under $100, I could not smash the buy it now button fast enough. It was perfectly timed because I had just made a pretty big sale of a lot of cards off eBay to a particular buyer. And so I had some hobby funds in the war chest. This one popped up and I did not waste a minute snatching this one up. I love this posed on the steps of the dugout shot here of Doby, just looking very stoically into the camera. And as I said, you know, this is right up Dylan's alley. It's a card that I think he would be proud of, even in his collection, which is really saying something. If you watch his channel, you know he's really fine-tuned and improved his collection to have just world-class centering and overall eye appeal. And so yeah, Dylan, this one reminded me of a card that I would see on your display wall. And then sticking with the Larry Doby theme, being the guy who integrated the American League, as I mentioned, and as almost everybody knows, I have a second Bowman Doby. This one surfaced not too long after that first one, and it's from a set that I love even more than 1954 Bowman. It's from the 1952 Bowman release. Check this one out in a crummy 3.5. Who would buy those? Not even a 4, but look at that card. Centering is very, very tough on these. And this may not, on Dylan's insane centering scale, this might be like an 85 or something. It may not be perfect, but I'm not quite as particular as Dylan. I just want very good centering that kind of meets my eyeball test. And this one certainly met the mark on that front. Another card, just like everything we've seen in today's video, that I've never owned prior to this. And given my love of 1950 through 1952 Bowman, this was another just obvious buy. This one was up at auction, and I was able to pick this one up for even less than the 54 Bowman Larry Doby set me back. So I would love to keep working on a run of his cards. He's gotten quite a bit more popular over the last year or two, it seems like, among collectors. I know there's always been people that have been into him, but his prices, it certainly seems, have gone up a little bit. But eventually, in my collecting lifetime, I would love to complete a Bowman run of Larry Doby from 1949 through the 50s. And so getting 2 of those towards that run in just the recent past here feels really good. And just like with the 54, it's another example of, a card that I could definitely see right on Dylan's wall. So look at that glorious display. 2 amazing cards from Dylan, and 2 cards that remind me of Dylan and his approach, kind of flanking those. So I'm having a blast in the hobby. I absolutely love this hobby, and folks like Dylan are one of the big reasons that it's as fun as it is for me. You can collect all the cards you want in a vacuum by yourself, and I know Dylan can relate to this. But once you can open up and share your collection and your hobby experience with other like-minded individuals, especially positive, friendly individuals like Dylan, it really just takes the hobby to a whole nother level. And I am having more fun as a result of being in this community than I've had in this hobby at any point in my life. It just gets better and better month by month. And Dylan, you're certainly a huge part of that. So thanks for being you. Thanks for your endlessly positive attitude and for not letting your awesome collection go to your head in any way. Really enjoy your channel. And more than that, I enjoy your friendship, and I really value it so much. So thank you, Dylan. And thank you to everybody else who stopped by to check this one out. Really great look at some important bridge player cards here. And yeah, that's a wrap. I'll be back in the very near future with some more content. But until then, hope you all keep enjoying this amazing hobby. Take care.